topic ki adi wa ya le immunity ya topic ka poi mo pe ma injun hoi de unar de chen immunity Yai topic I discuss maina I ama aha infectious disease tuam in hinta. Yai infectious disease tuam te pinha it is caused by different types of infectious disease causing agents. Tuam iena I pathogens tuam iena like bacteria, different types of bacteria, different types of virus, different types of protozoans, parasites, different types of worms. Ki an engine. We are exposed a teha adaka a gambang chitaleng igisyang thozo nai lo kitwan to la line we are exposed to different types of infectious agents infectious pathogens ichidiama I microbes. We are exposed to different types of pathogens or microbes we are infected or we are exposures to a few pathogens result in disease. Pathogens matam ki laka ki expose ve hilele wai matam te laka tom chik pen chawin tom chik chawina disease eya ibadia on cause mo ya pen kha mangzia kai je ale ibadia kha we have immunity ki ne ve ya immunity ichi changa bangchi na ai je ale immunity in kha bangon hi dia je ale they will fight against any foreign particles that is coming in our body ton bang ya I bang e body hitale a body pain in a sunga thil omte thei de ve I organs te yama hi lawale bacteria omte yama hi lawale I thil tom hormones tom omte kha a body in a self in kha ke recognize dem ton bang ya apolama ki pat I pathogens chini polama ki pat pathogens or microbes khat isunga honglut te bang hile ibadia through our nose ikama iskina honglut te bang hile yai immunity pen kha it is confirmed by our immune system so yai immunity pen in yai honglut te pen thei ding in it will defend it will fight against this and it will phagocytes or it will kill the pathogens that is entering our body so that ability of our body to fight against foreign particles it can be any disease causing pathogens microbes then I study te ting kha why te ting kha ibadia honglu tekchanga immunity ina ana fight back the engine ana kill zel demo why pen kha why ability of our body to fight against foreign particles or disease causing pathogens is known as immunity and our immunity is confirmed by our immune system. Immunity pen kha chini ina hen thei ding a first na pen kha innate immunity ya a second na pen kha acquired immunity. Innate immunity ichi chang ina kha the immunity which we are born with ipian or which is already present there at the time of our birth ipian immunity innate pen kha why te pen kha innate immunity ki chen examples would be skin te bang haile immunity chikhata hiya skin hei kha innate immunity hiya wai bana our tears wai bana I saliva chi te ma hei te ting kha they are already there when we are born ipiana kipata om sa ma yai te pen kha ipian pi te yai immunity ya yai te pen kha they are known as innate immunity innate ipian pi we are born with already there at the time of our birth acquired immunity ichi changina those immunity which is not present there when we are born ipiana omlo hilile I lifetime I life I acquired thote wai te pen kha they are known as acquired immunity. Example bang la teleng example la bang tun bang chicken pox pen kha I naneu la ya khat ve te ni why pen chicken pox pen bang ya khat ve ta why pen kha I chicken pox na ve ja ka immunity khathom ki acquired ni venang why immunity na acquired pen kha due to suffering from this chicken pox why immunity pen kha acquired immunity ki chide hai so na ve hi changa na dam hi changa kha yai chicken pox pen kha nang na hin hwa ve non lo ma khat ve chau le de hai te pen kha they are the immunity that you acquire by suffering from some kinds of diseases like chicken pox measles chite mumps chite why te zaka immunity na acquire pen kha that that is known as acquired immunity, which is not present at the times of birth or napian aumloma. Innate immunity te pen kha, they are non-specific type of defense ke chen yai non-specific type of defense bang chi na ai chi changa immunity, innate immunity na nei penin kha, it will not fight or it will not kill only one types of pathogens. It will kill any types of pathogens that is entering your body. Bacteria hina, virus hina, fungi hina, parasites hitale, bang hitale, na body ina ana defense dima ana kill di. Why that shows that innate immunity is non-specific. It is not specific to a particular pathogens, not to a particular bacteria. So waizaka non-specific kichima, it will fight against any foreign particles, any which is entering your body. Acquired immunity ichichangina, they are specific types of defense. They are very specific. That means they will defense or they will attack only one type of pathogens. Tun bang ya chickenpox la ya chickenpox beta mo nang kha chickenpox beta he chickenpox na ve hit changa kha immunity he chickenpox a da nei di nei be tun chickenpox he la ka chini ya ve zo ta you were 3 years tini 6 years itama kha chickenpox of on coast to pen kha hom painon le, then your body will recognize the pathogens and it will defense that pathogens which cause chickenpox. So the acquired immunity is very specific. It will defense or it will kill only one type of pathogens, only a particular types of pathogens. Tuna innate immunity in masadina why so changina acquired immunity and innate immunity kha then in introduction sa neu chukon gen hinta innate immunity ichi changina which is already there at the times of birth ibona ipiana hinsa why pen kha innate immunity here innate immunity te kha they are non-specific. They will defense or they will attack any types of pathogens causing diseases. Then how does innate immunity works? This innate immunity, they will produce or they will form different types of barriers. Different types of barriers. Bang barriers barriers to the entry of pathogens or microbes into our body. Innate immunity penin kha pathogens yam, microbes yam, any foreign particles ibadi ahong lo dekcha nga kha innate immunity tenin kha they will form barriers. So ye barriers te pen kha chiton to amina khen thei dinga khat khatin en suk dinga. So he pen an thei ya poi mo ya le innate immunity pen how does it work is that it works like this. It will forms different types of or it will provide different types of barriers to the entries of pathogens or microbes into our body. The first barriers is barriers to amoma. First pen in masadinga. First pen it is known as physical barriers. Physical barriers abang oma the main barriers in physical barriers is our skin. Skin te penin kha they prevent the entry of microbes. They block the entries of foreign particles into our body. So skin is the main physical barriers which blocks the entries of foreign particles from outside into our body. As ani na pen kha mucus. Internal structures in lehang are respiratory digestive, urogenital, respiratory, digestive, urogenital, they have epithelium lining. Epithelium lining epithelium lining there is present a mucus coating. ai pen ka han gen thak dinga ya mucus igak na san pen kha ya epithelium lining of the respiratory tract of the digestive systems of the urogenital organs he te pen kha ya he aligning te na kha they have mucus coating he mucus coating pen kha I itun bang hai pen respiratory tract chitani he ya kha epithelium lining om ding engine why epithelium lining te pe na kha there will be mucous coating mucus om de ve he mucus ten bang hi di why ji ale they will help in trapping microbes entering our body tun bang ya I microbes hai ti asante bang microbes itale ya mucus ten bang di wai jale they will trap the microbes and they will kill the microbes thereby protecting our body from disease. And next physiological barriers here. First na physical barriers I discuss kinta physical barriers are the skin is the main barriers which prevent the entry of microbes or pathogens into our body. The next is mucus bangchida lai chiale the epithelial lining of the respiratory tract digestive urogenital vaibana gastrointestinal chite waite pena kha mucus coating om hai mucus coating penin kha they will trap microbes and kill them thereby protecting the body from different diseases. And next physiological barriers physiological barriers pen ka they are living physical pen ka skin they are dead no physiological barriers pen ka bangi ending ai chale the first one is acid, the second one is saliva, the third one is tears. So ajale ya acid, saliva, tears iji de bangai jale stomach enlarge and stomach there are acids in our stomach hydrochloric acid ma HCl iji hydrochloric acid te pen ka stomach omi injen acid ten bangi ai jale they kill the harmful microbes that is present in the stomach. Acid penka it is secreted by our gastric glands which is present in the stomach. So acid is also a types of barriers which prevent the growing and the entering of pathogens. Next saliva. Saliva penin it is present in our mouth. Saliva penle it is secreted by our salivary glands. Saliva enzymes lysozymes. They helps the entry and the growth of microbes in the mouth. Next tears. Tears penka it is present in our eyes. Tears they helps in preventing entry and growth of microbes. A third na penaka cellular barriers or simply cell barriers. Cellular barriers we humans we are made up of many cells. So these many cells will help in killing foreign particles which is entering our body. Cells since we are multicellular organisms, we are made up of many cells. So there will be different types of cells which kills different types of foreign particles which is entering our body. Like cells like our lymphocytes, leukocytes, neutrophils, basophils, cells they will help in killing of foreign particles. The first line of defense, neutrophils they are the first lines of defense. Foreign particles neutrophils so they are the first lines of defense. Lymphocytes B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. So B lymphocytes they will produce antibody Isim thakdinga B lymphocytes penin kha it will produce antibodies, and these antibodies will attack any antigens or any foreign particles which is entering the body. And T lymphocytes penin kha bangma produce lodin, but the T lymphocyte cell itself would go and directly attack the antigens. There are also some kinds of cells which is known as natural killer cells. Here, natural killer cells, any foreign particles which is entering the body, they can kill the immune. This has the ability to kill even tumors also. There are some macrophages. Here, macrophages then they will phagocyte foreign particles. They will phagocytes. Phagocytes means they will kill any foreign substances which is entering the body and engulf the wound. They will kill. No. Before na four types of burials is cytokine barrier. Hey, cytokine barrier penha itin kahon explain dinga cells tampi kahon draw dinga hey cells hey the cells itale. These are all cells no hey the cells ile cells tampi te laka suppose hey cell hey pen bang cell number 1 tini hey cell pen bang let's say it is infected by virus in the infection cells not virus balloon. So these cells become virally infected cell. A cell it is no longer it can no longer functions properly because virus enter each other. So these cells become virally infected cell. Hey virus it will eat up or it will kill this cell. Hey cell cytokine barriers let's say other cells, other non-infected cells. Virus in infect non-infected cells virally infected cells. So as soon as virus enters the cell, this cell will start producing proteins. Here infected cell protein produce here protein produce proteins produce the engine. Proteins produce or secrete. A protein means the virally infected cells will start producing or will start secreting proteins. A proteins mean interferons interferons. Interferons is the proteins which is secreted by a virally infected cell. Hey proteins, interferons in it will signal the other cells. No signal virus tun bang the exam na din chingen len a proteins penin signal bang signal virus anaki protect a protein a secret penin cell non-infected cell it will protect. So the virus cannot infect or cannot attack the other cells because of the protein secreted by the virally infected cells. A protein secretes interferons. Interferons. So cytokine barriers if one cell, a particular cell is infected by a pathogens, by a virus, then that infected cells will start secreting proteins. Why proteins interferons here interferons proteins it will protect the other cells which are not infected by virus. Innate immunity and hinta acquired immunity and non-dinga then introduction sa concept kahon gen hinta acquired immunity which is not present at the times of birth. Ipiana omlo ilile ilife ihon acquired during a lifetime. Immunity that we acquire during our lifetime is known as acquired immunity. Acquired immunity, they are specific. Specific, that means the immunity would be specific for a particular pathogens. Tunbang examples sa iching kahula dia. Examples sa measles, mumps, chickenpox. Tunbang child nào pang khat mi ve nào pang khat pen kha measles han ve ta hai pen khat ve hon ve na pen kha abadi na immunity hon produce de ve hon acquire de hai immunity hon acquire pen kha it is because of the measles disease. Hai immunity hon ne zo cha nga kha the hai nào pang pen kha he will not suffer again from the same disease. Why ma banga mumps de why ma banga chickenpox le mo khat baby engine why no ve no lo de. So the immunity that the child acquire due to these diseases are known as acquired immunity. Tun bang hi chen ka on explain dina. Pathogens, any pathogens, pathogens when it attacks our body for the first time, attacks our body. Yeah, it's in first time ko on chidinga. For the first time, when pathogens, any types of pathogens attacks our body, it will produce antibody. Antibody being short form in AB AB means antibody. Ibadi peninka antibody hon produced ding since this one is the first time akhat bena ahi jaga ibadi peninka antibody a produced ding penka slow demo it takes time. It takes time, or that intensity would be very low. Ibadi penina hai antibody hai pathogens adia a produce penka. It will take times. It is very slow, or the intensity is very low. First time ibadi pen pathogens in attack a first time pen antibody produce pen it takes time. It is also known as primary response. Bangina response response by our immune system. A second time or a third time when the same pathogens when the same pathogens again attack our body, ibadi won't attack non janga ibadi le antibody pen produce non de a second time or a subsequent attack pathogens in ibadi attack pen ibadi antibody produce the pen it will be relatively high. The intensity will be high. It will not take times again like in the first encounter. It is also known as secondary response, or it is also known as an amnestic response. First time pathogens in ibadi attack ibadi in the antibody on produced in ibadi in antibody on produced the it will take times. The intensity is low and it is slow. Primary response a subsequent encounter a same pathogens in the ibadi on attack non janga ibadi penin memory and memory bang memory janga pathogens in attack so the body will recognize the pathogens and it will start it will quickly produce the antibody and it will fight off the pathogens and it will kill the pathogens. So that is known as secondary response or an amnestic response. Primary response to secondary response it is carried out or it is controlled by our lymphocytes. primary response to secondary response again. Primary response to secondary response when it is carried out by our lymphocytes. Lymphocytes in a control mo. Lymphocytes is of two types. Lymphocytes the first one is known as B lymphocytes, or simply known as B cells. B cells B lymphocytes. The second type of lymphocytes is T lymphocytes, or simply T cells. A difference from the B lymphocytes how will it fight against foreign particles? B lymphocytes they will produce proteins. B lymphocytes large numbers of proteins produced in proteins it is known as antibodies. That means B lymphocytes will produce antibodies, and these antibodies will fight against foreign particles that is entering the body. T lymphocytes T lymphocytes they do not produce any antibodies. They do not produce antibodies. Produce they help B cells. T cells will help B cells to produce antibodies. T cells they are also known as helper T cells. There are some T cells which will help produce B cells antibodies. Why they are known as helper T cells? Because they help B cells to produce antibodies. B cells they are also known as antibody-mediated immunity. B lymphocytes they are also known as antibody or humoral-mediated immunity. T lymphocytes they are known as cell-mediated immunity. T cells when foreign particles enters the body, T cells antibody produced loading T cells foreign particles they have attack the that is why they are known as cell-mediated immunity. B cells antibodies are produced antibodies antibodies IgA, IgE, IgM, IgG. IgA it is the antibodies which is present in our mother's milk. Detail it deals with the mother's milk. IgE this is when we have any types of allergy in antibodies they produce. These antibodies are the first lines of defense. They will control the activations of B cell. Control activations of B cell. IgM it is the largest antibody. IgG it is the most common type of antibody. They are found in blood circulation. The primary response and secondary response explained they are further controlled by our lymphocytes. Lymphocytes can be of two types, B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. Common name B cells T cells B lymphocytes they produce large amounts of proteins, and the proteins they produce are known as antibodies. Antibodies are of different types: IgA, IgE, IgM, IgZ. IgA is dealing with mother's milk. IgE is produced when we have different types of allergy, and IgM is produced when not produced. IgM it is the antibodies which will control the activations of B cells. This is the largest antibody. IgG it is the most common types of antibody. It will be found in the blood circulations. B lymphocytes they are also known as antibody-mediated immunity or humoral-mediated immunity, because antibody-mediated immunity because B lymphocytes when a foreign particles enters the body, it will not directly go and defend or go and kill the foreign particles. Instead, they will be producing antibody when produce it antibody foreign particles phagocytes. That is why it is known as antibody mediated immunity. T lymphocytes it is known as cell mediated immunity, because T lymphocytes when foreign particles comes and enters the body, T lymphocytes will directly go and attack the foreign particles. That is why it is known as cell-mediated immunity. Abana structures of antibody structures of antibody antibody then again antibody it is produced by lymphocytes. Antibody functions it will fight against foreign particles which is entering our body. Structures structures antibody chain ni ania rough the first chain a chain pen indulgent a blue ka draw pen longer a red ka draw pen it is shorter. A longer pen a longer chain pen it is known as heavy chain. Heavy chain it will contain more proteins it is known as heavy chain. A shorter pen a red pen shorter pen it is also known as light chain. It consists of 2 light chains. An antibody consists of 2 light chains and 2 heavy chains. It is also denoted by H2 and L2. H2 means heavy chain or heavy 2, and L means light chain 2. Chain they are interconnected by a disulfide bridge. This is connected by a disulfide bridge. This is also connected by a disulfide. There is one side side pen this side is known as the antigen binding site. Antigen binding site. That means antibody site ni site antigen binding site. Any foreign particles will come and bind here. Antigen binding site it is variable. They are variable. That means any types of pathogens, any types of foreign particles can come and bind here. It is variable. It is also known as constant variable region. It is also known as constant region. Constant, that means constant ki bang den variable low here antigen binding site to ki bang low it is constant. It can move. Ki move it is known as hinge. The structures of antibody is it contains 4 chains where 2 two chains are shorter and two chains are longer. The longer chains are known as heavy chain and the shorter chains are known as light chains. Since it consists of heavy chain and light chain, this is also represented by H2L2 because two light chains and two heavy chains. And these chains are interconnected by a disulfide bridge. Here, antigen ki bind engine. This is known as antigen binding site, and it is variable. Variable means any types of antigens, any types of foreign particles can come and bind here. Whereas this part is known as the constant regions. That means it will not change. It is constant. Here part it is movable. Ki move engine. This part is also known as hinge. Tunbang, there are some cases where a person had kahon geldinga person pen kha this a heart pen kha function no mo so ama adam na dinga he needs a heart transplant midang heart pen kha ama heart abu ngai a hi lawale pa pen kha let's say both the kidneys are not functioning fail tini kidney fail tini ani ama hai zaka in ama ahing thekna dia midang khat kidney ala ngai mo huchima abanga liver te ta te kha liver transplant kidney transplant heart transplant any person mi khat pe wa ki pana a heart yam a kidney yam la thei lo de a reason it can explain we have our immune system. It is all because of our immune system. Immune system first self self body non-self is midang antigens so here antigens in common geldinga a body antigens non-self midang antigens is Tun bang pa a self pen bang midang te pen midang te ma bang le tuna self pen ama body pen recognize de ama organs ama tissues ama cells te thei ding chen hilele tun bang non-self cell non-self a cell a tissues organs ladek legend self penina organs de a cells a tissues de ana recognize lo di bangsia because ama hi lo zaka te pen recognize lo den so this will become foreign particles. So if it is a foreign particles self body penin it will start producing antibodies. Antibodies when produce the antibodies when produce penin cell or tissues midanga ila pen ana defense diunjen ana attack diunjen ana kill diunjen a cells a tissue organs alak te pen kitwa thelo de it will fail our self will reject the organs or the cell or the tissues. In order to overcome this problem overcome there is one thing which is a cyclosporin kijima cyclosporin pen tun bang person pa pen a heart failure a heart function also he needs the heart of another person in order to live. So pa pen pang chi this person would be given a cyclosporin. Cyclosporin pen pangai it is a immune suppressant. Immune suppressants this medicines or this will suppress the functions of our immune systems so that our immune reactions, antibody productions immune reactions will become low. Immune systems immune reactions low antibody ki produce midang heart antibody te pen in ana reject lo deuma. So during transplantations of liver, kidney, heart or any other organs or tissues, cyclosporins is used in order to prevent. This is bangsaka kisanga ichiale in order to prevent the organ rejections. Abhana active to passive immunity ending active immunity ichi changana when we are exposed to antigens, the body is producing antibody. The body when the body produces antibody, the body produces antibody when exposed to antigens. It is known as active immunity. When they are exposed to an antigens, foreign particles, when he is exposed to any types of antigens, his body, antibody produced. It is known as active immunity. Active immunity it is slow. It usually takes time. It is usually slow and it takes time to give full effective. It is slow and it takes time to give its full effective response. A response on antibody produce when this person is exposed to antigens, antibody produce it takes times and it is slow. So this process, when the body is producing antibodies, this process is known as active immunity. Passive immunity even when a person is exposed to antigens, the body is not producing. Opposite of this, body do not produce antibodies. If the body penin antibody are produced locally, how will the person or the individuals fight against the foreign particles? This can be done by directly taking ready-made antibodies. Ready-made antibodies ready-made antibodies the antibodies which is made in the laboratory through biotechnology, genetic engineering antibodies inject directly this process is known as passive immunity. In comparison to this, it is quick and fast. Active immunity can be divided into two: natural active immunity and artificial active immunity. Passive immunity same natural passive immunity and artificial passive immunity. Natural active immunity tunbang example chicken pox chicken pox a body in antibodies when produced a body in antibodies chicken pox produced and this child, after producing antibodies for chickenpox, the child will never will never get chickenpox again in his life. Chickenpox because our body is already producing antibodies. So this type of productions of antibodies due to chickenpox or different types of diseases, this types is known as natural active immunity. Artificial active immunity this is done through vaccine. Let's take the examples of polio vaccine. Inulaya polio vaccine a disease pain is suffered we are already taking the vaccine. Vaccine is vaccine it is a attenuated virus or bacteria. Attenuated half killed or half dead virus or bacteria. Half dead or half killed virus or bacteria, or attenuated virus or attenuated bacteria Ipumpia ihon kapru thiang ihon nek chanila bang chia le ipumpin kha ibadi in kha antibody hon produce ding engine. Our body will produce antibodies and disease will not be seen. Disease then kha negative chinkahangalina or X. Disease will not be seen in our body. However, antibodies will be produced due to the vaccines that we have injected or taken when we are exposed to any foreign particles or any antigens. And next, passive immunity, natural passive immunity. We'll take the examples of mother's milk. There are many antibodies present. Antibodies tam be present in why antibodies they now so it will be taken by the child. A child antibodies anu tam a child antibodies aman produce anu it is passive immunity. It is natural because it is not man-made milk it is natural it comes under natural passive immunity. So not only during lactation, now lactation not only during lactations, even during pregnancy. During pregnancy through the placenta, a placenta tumto nakipata anaw pang peninha a fetus a fetus peninha anuakipana it acquires some kinds of antibodies. Some types of antibodies is acquired even during pregnancy, and during lactations through the mother's milk the child will get many antibodies. Why antibodies tan pi waya ki acquire hi zaka tun khen khat nu noi tu ni lo te pen kha a child atate pen kha noi tu anek lo zakwa. They are very prone to diseases. Disease in bo by lamdang it comes under natural passive immunity. Colostrum kichi. Colostrum it is a yellowish fluid here which is present in the milk of the mother, and it has abundant antibodies like IgA. And then against IgA it is an antibody which is concerned with the mother's milk. Artificial passive immunity ending artificial passive immunity the body do not produce antibody and artificially so this are antibodies which are artificially made in the laboratory by using the process of biotechnology and genetic engineering. Biotechnology antibodies lab artificially they are this comes under artificial passive immunity. They may be found in the forms of serums or tablet. We are given doctor antibodies ibadi are produced but it is artificially made in the lab by the process of biotechnology or genetic engineering. It will comes under artificial passive immunity.